Hello everyone, my name is Lucas Hooks and I created this video for an environmental ethics class which I took during fall of 2016 at Clemson University. The purpose of this video was to share the results of a habit change that I undertook which I thought would positively affect the environment. I chose recycle aluminum cans. Before I begin talking about the project and the data that I collected, I would like to share a few facts. 36 billion cans were sent to landfills last year. This is a problem because it takes aluminum anywhere from 200 to 500 years to fully decompose. This means that since aluminum cans were made available to the public in 1959, none of the aluminum cans that have ever been thrown away or littered have had a chance to start decomposing yet. This means we're just going to have an accumulation of aluminum trash before any of it ever really fully begins to decompose. Aside from that, recycling aluminum cans can actually save a lot of energy. Recycling one aluminum can is equivalent to saving enough energy to burn a 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours or to run a television for 3 hours. Now, as for my project and the data I collected, I began data collection on September the 25th and ended data collection on November the 5th. Each week, I would record the number of aluminum cans I used throughout the week and recycle them in a receptacle outside of my apartment. When data collection was through, I computed an average of all the weeks, which I found to be 17.17 cans per week. I did notice that there was a skew in my data, and that was that on weeks where Clemson had home games, I used more cans than on weeks that did not have home games. As the point of this project was to calculate the long-term potential of the habit, I felt that calculating two separate averages, the one for weeks with home games and the one for weeks without home games, should be done so I could see if there was a grave difference. I did find that on weeks with home games, I used significantly more cans than on weeks without home games. So I decided to project the long-term potential of the habit, I would use the average for weeks that did not have home games, and I found that to be 14.75 cans per week. Next, I calculated the long-term potential of the habit. And to do this, I calculated using my average of 14.75 cans per week, the number of cans that I could save a year and the number of cans I could save over my adult life. I also did the same thing with the Clemson community and with a small subset of the world population. I also calculated the amount of money that could be earned if these cans were exchanged to a scrapyard. To do this, I used the average value of one can recycled, and that is 2.5 cents. For myself, I found that I could save 767 cans per year, and if those were returned to a scrapyard, that would be worth $19.18. Over my adult life, which I calculated to range from 18 to 78 years, I said that I could save 46,000 cans, and this would be worth approximately $1,150. Those 46,000 cans would be enough to power that 100-watt light bulb for 21 years. I also calculated this for the Clemson community, which was comprised of 22,698 students who were enrolled. I found that they could save 17.5 million cans per year, and that these cans would be worth $435,000. I also found that if those cans were equivalent to energy, which they are, that Clemson's campus in 1 year could save enough energy to burn a 100-watt light bulb for 8,000 years. As for the world, it was a little more complicated. I could not use my average for third world countries as there's no way that they could use that many aluminum cans. So I only used the first world population. I found that if the first world population used my average of 14.7 cans per week and recycled those cans, that aluminum pollution into the environment would be virtually non-existent. This probably means that my average is a little bit higher than the average person normally consumes in aluminum cans per week, but it also means that the first world could do a large role in eliminating aluminum pollution. After reviewing my data, I found that my habit is worthwhile to continue. The energy that's saved through recycling aluminum cans is huge, and the fact that when they're polluted into the environment, it takes them so long to biodegrade makes for a long-term accumulation of trash into the environment. Therefore, I recommend that everybody recycles, and it doesn't matter if you recycle to scrapyard for money or if you recycle complementary to receptacles that you encounter throughout your day. It's definitely worth recycling to save the environment in the long run.